spiraling up, just like a rich staircase. No fly zone, please stay the fuck out my airspace. Say things behind her back, shit they wouldn't dare say. Know it's on sight when I see you, I'm working at Squarespace.
Yeah, top of the morning, I know that you thought I was dormant. Woke up early from shots that was swarming. A block from the ops, now the cops in the orbit. Cause somebody got popped, now they knocking on doors trying to find an informant. But I ain't seen Nathan, I'm minding my business. As God is my witness, the weapon gon' prosper that's forming against me. I'm starving immensely. Know when I'm done with these songs, you gon' miss me. John Moran, I'm on my grizzly. Usually it's just cuz, but no, not the ones in the big leagues. After the fall off, I promise I'm coming and selling out Wrigley's. I'm just a product of poverty, full of narcotics to profit off quickly. My family tree got a history of users that struggle with demons, not really the hustler instincts. Therefore, often my pockets was empty. So while some of my partner was serving up on the corners of project assemblies, me, I was starting to envy. Wanna be on the top where it's plenty. Wanna be in the spotlight where every want me like Rihanna dropping new Fenty. What I see in the sky, the villas of ceiling can't reach up too high evidently. Nah. I can't reach up too high evidently. Never seen no one driving a Bentley. I can't be out here mopping up Wendy's. My life is all I have. My rhymes, my pen, my pad. And I done made it out the struggle, don't judge me. What you're saying now won't budge me. Cause where I come from, so often people you grow with laying in a coffin. But I done made it through the pain and strife. It's my time now, my world, my life, my life.
Say what? The stuff that I seen got me traumatized. I let the K go when Johnny died. Swinging them side to side. We don't participate, ain't with that squash. All we believe in is homicide. I got a good heart, so I send teddy bears every time we make they mamas cry. I pray that my past ain't ahead of me, 21. When I'm in love, I love heavily. If you betray me, you dead to me, 21. I disrespect you respectfully. I got some partners who left this earth. Maybe the pain made a better one, God. Just know that they secrets is kept with me, God. I feel like the streets is in debt with me. I gave my heart away to all the dog, cause that's who accepted me, 21. I blame my pops for that, cause if he didn't fail, he could've corrected me, 21. Give all the props to my mama, cause no matter what, she always protected me, God. I promise you it ain't no checking me, God.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. It is here. It is finally time. Week 15 fantasy football playoffs are finally here. Hopefully you guys are in the dance. If you're not, I appreciate you still checking out the content nonetheless, because a lot of people start to check out this time of the year if they are not in the fantasy football playoffs. One second there. Hold on. We got a visitor today, I guess. But other than that, man, appreciate everybody for being here. Appreciate everybody who was here in the chat early. Frank, Frosty, Dan, mostly Jay Gill, everybody. Appreciate you guys for being here. It means a lot to me. So we are going to get this thing started. Just want to remind you folks too, now that the fantasy football playoffs are here, we are going to be changing the content just a tiny bit on the channel. We did this last year. It's kind of unfortunate. It's been 2 years in a row now where during the fantasy football playoffs, I have either been on vacation or I have been moving, and I am going to be moving right now. So that is something that's kind of happening over the next couple of weeks. I do have stuff planned still nonetheless. We are still going to be doing the weekly Q&As every Tuesday, every Friday. We are going to be doing the Sunday start sits for sure. We are going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to keep that one all in the same schedule. Other than that, though, we are going to be doing one weekly video called Ring Chasers. We did this last year. It's basically a video once a week on Wednesdays that's going to drop. It's going to give you guys some streaming options for the week in your fantasy football playoffs. Maybe guys you can pick up off of the waiver wire. Also going to be target or matchups you can target in the playoffs. Maybe even matchups you can avoid in the playoffs. So we're going to be doing that each and every week. Other than that, that's a lot of yapping at the beginning of the show. I know we got questions to answer. So do me the favor. If I answer your start sit tonight, hit the like button. If I don't, you don't have to do anything, but I'm going to get to everybody, hopefully, in the hour that we have. We have about, I guess now at this point, we have about 55 minutes. So let's just get right into it, man, and let's start talking about some of these questions. I do have to run real quick. Sorry, 1 second. Hold on, my cat's tripping. All right, I totally apologize, folks. Usually she does not be is in here when I'm recording, and as soon as she's in here when I'm recording, she's being naughty. So there we go. That is figured out. That is solved. She is now locked away. Well, not fully locked away, but she's in timeout. So let's get into the questions. I do have this first question here, and it is from Frank. He says, first question that should be asked before any other question is, what do you think about Phillip Rivers signing? I don't know, man. I feel like this is a player where I guess it makes sense. You know, you have guys in the building that believe in you, but I feel much worse about the Colts offense today than I do yesterday. I guess not yesterday, the day before, but it's really just, for me, it's just not giving me a lot of faith. I don't know. Maybe Rivers can prove me wrong. I feel like you retire for a reason, and this is not something I'm excited about. But maybe he thinks he can make a run in the playoffs one more time. Who knows? If he makes a playoff run, this is going to be a story for the ages. Frosty says, Purdy, Dart, or Love for the playoffs. So looking at this question, and I'm looking at my rankings this week, I do have Purdy as my quarterback 7 right now. I got Dart as my quarterback 9, and I got Jordan Love way down as my quarterback 17 this week. So if I have to lean on one of these guys, I am leaning on Brock Purdy versus Tennessee. Does this improve the Colts offense? I don't think so. Ollie Gordon, that's his name. What is this? It's out of order for me. Is Jalen Wright or the other running back worth the pickup? I can't remember his name. It's Ollie Gordon. So there you go. Yeah, that is his name. I don't know if I'm really picking any of them up unless they're a handcuff. If you are picking up a handcuff one, I do think Ollie Gordon is the better handcuff than Jalen Wright. Dan says, missing the playoffs because I played Daniel Jones over Shadur Sanders are words that I never expected to say in 2025 or ever. Yeah, my brother in my home league, he actually was playing last week. Who was it? It was Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor. Get in, or a win and get in type of scenario for him. And his 2 quarterbacks in his Superflex league scored him -2 points. So he did not get in, and he is not in the playoffs. So it's unfortunate. I feel for people that played him. But you can't project the injuries, man. It is what it is. Let's see. Traded my 27 first and a 26 late third and a 27 late third for Javonte, an early 27 second. What are your thoughts? I think it's fine. I mean, you're moving back, right? The 27 first to the early 27 second, you're moving back, and you're basically getting Javonte for the price of the move back plus the thirds. Makes sense to me. I think it's a good deal. You know, not an overpay by any means, not an underpay. I think it's a fine deal. So where are we here? I know I'm a little bit behind, so I'm going to get after it, folks. But says traded JT in a 28 late first plus a late 28 second for Brees, 26 late first and 27 late first, 26 and 27 late third. I know it was a massive trade. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of stuff moving on. It's also really hard for me to really look at 28 and say you can confidently project anything late, early, mid. Way too far into the future for you to be able to do that. I feel like dynasty leagues look different year in and year out. So saying lates, I don't know if you can actually project it. But JT, and let's assume it's a first and a second. For Brees, a first, and 2/3. It's a down tier. You move up into 2027. I get it. I think it makes sense, but again, a lot of this is muddied by late projection. I don't know if you can actually do that at this point in time. Week 15, 2 bye weeks and 2 quarterfinals for the guys. For this guy, yes, a subtle flex. Love to hear it. Yeah, I got 4 dynasty leagues that I play in every year. 2 of them I was trying to be competitive. 2 of them I went into the year rebuilding already. Like going into week 1, I was already trying to just move on and keep rebuilding this roster. So the 2 that I was being competitive, I won. Or not one, I was the number 1 seed in both of them, so I got the bye week in both of those. But the ones that I was rebuilding, I ended up getting the number 2 overall pick and the number 3 overall pick in those rebuilding teams. So not the 101, unfortunately, but I had a guy in my league where I was rebuilding who went 0-28. 0-28 was the record or something like that. So yeah, not great. We play against the league median every week. Start 2 quarterbacks, Stafford, Dak, or Lamar. Love the content. Thanks, Drew. The two quarterbacks that I'm going to be playing here are going to be Stafford, and I think I'm going Stafford and Lamar, man. I'm going out swinging. Lamar against Baltimore Lamar against Cincinnati in that game. I am going to be playing him. Stafford, you got to keep playing him, especially in that revenge game versus Detroit. We've had it before, but yeah, you still got to play him. What's good, Insidious? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Sports Zone? What do we got here? Dusk says 12-team PPR, 0.25 tight end premium, pick 3 for my flex spots. Ken Walker, Alec Pierce, Hunt, Aaron Jones, Theo Johnson, Booty, Shaheed, Mechie. Sorry for the long list. It's all good. So the 3 that I'm going to be picking for the flex spots here are going to end up being, let's see. I'm going to go with Ken Walker for one of them. He's going to be the first. That is the highest in the ranks. It's tough for me to trust Alec Pierce, knowing that we might have Phillip Rivers at quarterback. Like, what does that actually mean? I have zero ideas. 0.25 tight end premium doesn't bump up the tight ends too much for me. So I think I'm going to lean with Aaron Jones for one of the other ones. Give me Aaron Jones and Kenneth Walker. And then it's really between Alec Pierce and Kareem Hunt. Do I want to go Alec Pierce versus Seattle, or do I want to go Kareem Hunt versus I'm forgetting who he's playing, the Chargers. I think I'm going to go Alec Pierce, but man, that's tough to trust. Yeah, give me Kenneth Walker, Aaron Jones, and Alec Pierce. But that's tough, man. That's tough to trust. I understand why you're having a hard time with that one. Tingley says, what's up, Andrew? Should I drop Gadsden to pick up either Fannin, Juwan, Theo, or Kincaid? PPR, so no tight end premium. Looking at my rankings this week, the highest one from the list that you gave me is Fannin. I have Fannin as a top 5 play. So should you drop Gadsden? If you need to play them this week, absolutely, I would be going with Fannin. His matchup next week against Buffalo is tough, so it's going to be a harder one for him to potentially play in, I guess, because Buffalo's number 1 against the tight end so far this year. But I would probably go with Fannin this week if I need to play one of them. Insidious says that's fire. Happy for you and the fam. I'm assuming that's about the move. Yeah. It says, are you moving back west? No, we're not. Well, yes, we are moving west. We're not going all the way back to Vegas, which is where I'm originally from, but we're moving to Texas. So we're going to Dallas area. We're going to be in the Dallas area, and we move here in about 2.5 weeks. So trying to wrap up the content, trying to pack up the house. I feel like I was almost going to be late for the stream today because I was trying to move dressers and sell dressers on Facebook Marketplace and get some money for them, and try and clear out the house as much as I can so we don't take a bunch of junk with us. So yeah, it's going to be fun. But if things in the back over the next 2 weeks start to disappear, you know why, because they're getting packed into boxes and we're getting ready to go. Because as soon as the fantasy football season is over, I told my movers they could not show up until the end of the fantasy championships because I told them I had to work until then. But once the fantasy championship is over with in week 17, bags packed and we out. So I'll see you in 2 weeks. Like, that's basically what's going to happen, which is fine because it works out timing wise. But A-Rod says, what up, Brody? Want to pick up the Eagles defense, but I have the Broncos, who I don't want to drop. So who do I drop? Neal, Terry, Myers, BTJ, Warren, or Stafford? The easiest drop here for me is probably Neal, if you don't need the running back. Now that we're past bye weeks, there's a chance that you might not need them. I look at Devin Neal in my rankings right now this week, and he's not a player that I have crazy high. He's a low-end RB2 for me. It's a tougher matchup, or a decent matchup this week against the Carolina Panthers, so should be a decent spot for him. He's somebody that I would probably be dropping from this list. It could be BTJ too, but I don't really want to drop him. If you held him this long, like, I feel like we got to ride the ship out, but it's going to be one of those two guys for me. Let's see. Talking about Stafford, start him or Dart? I'm starting Stafford over Dart. Do you feel better about Goddard against Las Vegas or Waller against Pittsburgh? That one's a little bit of a tougher one. I'm not super confident in Darren Waller as a starter right now. I don't have him super high in my rankings. I think I'd rather ride with Goddard there. I know Hurts did not look good this last week, but I think I still have a little bit more faith in Goddard. He's been just a little bit more reliable and more involved in the offense. Alex says, I paid an absolute haul for Lamar in Dynasty. With age and how he has played, is he falling down the ranks? Paid Love Lad a 27 first and JCM when he was hyped. This was for the league win. Made the playoffs at the 6th seed though. I mean, look, you paid a lot. Love Lad a 27 first. It's a lot of value. I do think that Lamar's value is going to start trending in the wrong direction that we want it to go. Just because you think of age and you think of the production that he had this year, and then we're going to get into the offseason where youth is going to be overvalued. I could see a 6-month period here at the start of 2026 where his value is not really going to feel like you paid off with that type of price tag that you paid. However, I would argue that Jordan Love, despite how much people like Jordan Love, he's not a game breaker by any means. Lad has not really been a game breaker this year. The 27 first, we'll see. It's always, I think a prettier box, a mystery box than it actually is sometimes when you draft. And then JCM is, to me, I'm not really excited about JCM at all. So it's a lot. You overpaid. You probably lose the trade on paper right now, but I don't think this is like detrimental to a dynasty team right now or a roster. Rivers is going to get slaughtered by the Hawks defense. Yeah, it's not ideal. And that's even if he plays. If he doesn't play, I mean, he could play. It's a mess. It's a mess in Indianapolis. And I'm kind of bummed out because we had Jonathan Taylor feeling like he was going to be at least in the running for fantasy MVP. And if the efficiencies of this offense dips, I'm nervous about Jonathan Taylor because he has a tough playoff schedule too. So it's starting to get, a little bit nervous about Jonathan Taylor without Danny Dimes in the lineup. And that feels weird to say because we never thought that Danny Dimes would be something we were getting excited about. What do we got? Speaking of which, the next question that I have here is Ken, who says, does Rivers help JT's production? Is JT getting 25 to 30 touches? It's going to come down to efficiencies, man. It's going to come down to efficiencies. What can he do when we know that they're not going to be leaning into the pass as much? Can he still break off some big plays? Absolutely. He's Jonathan freaking Taylor, but I don't know. I feel like teams are going to start stacking boxes. Rob says, Andrew, is it better to base tiebreakers off points for or head-to-head? I think max points for should be the tiebreaker. Mason Taylor, Booty, Andres, Corum. Is that Andrews? Andrews. Yeah, it's Mark Andrews. Mason Taylor, Booty, Andrews, Corum. Already have Kyron. Start 2. Full PPR, tight end premium. Have Booty and Andrews in currently. I would definitely have Andrews in. Andrews is a top 8 tight end for me this week. Would I go with Mason Taylor? Would I go with Booty? I think I'm going to go with Booty as well. I can't really trust, what is it, Brady Cook at quarterback? Yeah, not really super excited about that. Traded Golden in a third for a first, ended up being the 104. How did I do? You did great. but you knew that already, because Golden is lucky to be worth a second round pick right now. Just joined an orphan shit team. I'm going to have the 101 this year, but I have old talent like CMC and Kittle. Traded them along with a couple others to the number 1 team, and some people were a little upset since now they're a bit of a super team. All this to say, do you think having a week 14 trade deadline is too late? Sent the trade into the trade show on Discord, so I won't go into all the details. Okay, makes sense. If it's your flavor, it's your flavor. I personally, the leagues that I commish, my deadlines are at the end of week 12. So the last 2 weeks of the regular season, week 13 and 14, your dynasty team has to have chosen a direction by the end of week 12. So then you have 2 weeks basically, where everybody's chosen a direction and you just have to roll with the punches. And then obviously you have the fantasy playoffs. So I personally set mine at the end of week 12. I don't think it's a huge issue to have 14, but you do kind of have this like, hey, I know for certain I'm the number 1 team, and this guy just missed the playoffs in the final week of the season, so now he's going to sell off all his assets, and I'm going to buy all of them because I'm the bye week. That makes some people feel a little bit discouraged, and I think it sounds like that kind of happened with your league. So I think a 2 week buffer for me personally, again, my preference is the safe spot, a 2 week a 2-week deadline, or 2 weeks before the end of the regular season. Sup Dart says, gotta buy in the 16-man work league, the first 3 picks being Neighbors, Bucky, and Evans. Stay on them waivers because it's possible. Yes, it is. We've seen people, especially, a team like this one, like you said, where if you stay active, you stay tapped in, you can make some things happen. And the only thing that matters, we play all year, week by week, right? You got to win games, you got to get in. But once you get in, everything that happened before doesn't matter. It's just this week. And are guys like Neighbors, Bucky, and Evans healthy this week? Not all of them, obviously, but you probably have been able to fill in some guys now that can help you if you got a Michael Wilson, if you got some other guys like that on the waiver wire. So, yeah, you got to stay active, man. Anthony says, I want to take a moment of silence for Lamar, Fields, Bijan, Quinshawn, Hendo, Mason Rodriguez, Tracy Egbuka, DK, Garrett Wilson, Sutton, Ted McBride, Kittle, Jake Ferguson, Kittle, not in the playoffs. This is a crazy team to have Bijan, Lamar, Egbuka, Travion Henderson, Quinshawn Judkins, like Garrett Wilson. If you George Kittle and Trey McBride, look, you go into this season with this roster, you're feeling good. And that's crazy that you're not in, man. I feel like this feels like the team that I had last year in your idiot league mates, where I had a MVP type season, Saquon Barkley, and didn't make the playoffs. Crazy work, man. Crazy work. Mosley says, how far are Caleb and Dart? Would love to pivot from Caleb to Dart, but Dart owner is an Ole Miss fan, so that means that it's harder to get what the most you'd pay to get for. Okay, all right. I think I just totally did not read the whole second half of that sentence and just went with it. So, it is what it is. How far are they off? I like Caleb more than I like Dart in Dynasty right now. I don't think they're off by a crazy amount. I think if I had to make an official rankings today, I'm probably going to space them out by just a little bit. It's probably going to be like Caleb somewhere in like the quarterback 8 range, quarterback 9 range, and Dart's going to be somewhere around like 11. I think that's probably where I would have it. Maybe 10 for Dart. But they're kind of almost in the same bucket at this point. I just have more confidence in Caleb Williams because of Ben Johnson. We don't know who the head coach is going to be there in New York, and it makes me a little bit nervous. Not that I don't believe in Dart. I definitely still believe in Dart. Couple questions on my Dynasty League. Who do we trust at quarterback this week? Lamar, Hurts, or Dart? It's going to be tough to trust Jalen Hurts, man. I'm going Lamar. I'm playing Lamar against Cincinnati and hope we get a shootout there in the division. So give me Lamar. As a contender in a dynasty, 3rd place, would you throw a first at ETN? Other running backs are Harvey and Tracy. If you can still trade right now and you're going into the playoffs and you think this is going to put you over the edge, then I'm okay sending a 26 first for ETN. But if it's like a future first for next year, I'm not doing it. But if it's for this year, I'm okay rolling the dice this year. Hopefully that makes sense, Anthony. My boy Rivers got to get that winter clothes money for the kids. Yeah, all 17 of them. Start 2 running backs and 1 flex. Harvey, Judkins, Olave, Brees, Terry, Myers, Neal, BTJ, and Warren. So looking at my rankings right now, I currently have RJ Harvey as my running back 14 this week. I have the next highest guy who would be, just to make sure, the next highest would be Quinshawn. So I'm going to play Quinshawn and Harvey for the 2 running backs. I guess Judkins or Brees for me is probably going to hit the bench. Same with Warren and Neal. For the wide receiver, do I go with Terry Myers? I think at this point, I think I'm going to play Terry. and then the 2 running backs. What prompted the move to Dallas? Just kind of felt like it, man. It's a time in my life. My wife and I, we moved to the East Coast originally, so she could get into medical school. She got into a medical school on the East Coast, so that's what originally prompted the move over here. She's since graduated from medical school, so we are kind of at a point in our life where we can just pick our next place, our next chapter, and not have any ties to go anywhere. It's kind of the first real move in our younger adult lives that isn't prompted by some type of educational decision. So, you know, my original move to Utah was for my undergrad, and then our move to the East Coast was for her medical school for her post-grad. So it's the first time really not doing anything. We wanted to go to Texas. We felt like it was a cool spot for us in the next chapter of our lives. Nicer, you know, some affordable real estate over there, some things that we like about it. So definitely something that's prompting the next move, and she's likely going to be landing a job down there too once we get there. So it's going to be lots of good things over there, but that's kind of what prompted it. We just, for the first time, had freedom, and that's where we wanted to go. It's also a little bit closer to home without being in the backyard, if you know what I'm saying. Tingley says, on that tight end question, I was thinking of dropping Gadsden for rest of season for somebody else. You think I should still keep him over the others available that I listed? I don't have space to hold 2. Then I'd probably stream, man. I'd probably keep streaming the position. I know you said, you know, Fannin and some of those other guys. I'd drop Gadsden for Fannin this week, and then if you need to drop Fannin for somebody else next week, I'd do that as well. So I'd just be streaming it the rest of the way then, if you don't have space to hold 2. Who to start this week? 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 flex in a full PPR. Burrow, Dart. So we're here at the quarterback. For me, it's going to be Burrow over Dart at the quarterback position. So we will play him. When it comes to the 2 running backs with Gibbs, Hall, Henderson, Rodriguez, I'm going to go with Gibbs for sure. You have to put Gibbs into the lineup. And then I'm going to go with, I think, Travion Henderson. Give me Henderson and Gibbs. For the 2 wide receivers, JSN, Egbuka, Wilson, JMO, you know it's going to be JSN. And I think the other one that you have to play is probably Michael Wilson. So give me JSN and Michael Wilson. And then I guess for my flex and the tight end I'm going to go... I'm going Loveland over Strange for my tight end. And then I'm going to go the flex, I guess I'm going with Hall. So that's the whole lineup, hopefully. Start 2 running backs and 2 flex. It's going to be Cook, Rico, Hendo, Hampton, Harvey, Rice, Egbuka, Godwin, CD. Doesn't play till Sunday night, so I don't know if he's playing. My starting wide receivers are JSN and Puka. So the 2 running backs are going to be Cook for me, and I think I'm going Cook, and I'm kind of stuck between Hampton and Henderson. That's kind of where I'm stuck at right now. I think I'm going to go Henderson still, though. So give me Cook and Henderson. And the 2 flex, you got to go Rice. You got to go CD if he's healthy. And we'll have more clarity probably by that game time. If not, my guess is you're probably going to be playing Harvey or Hampton instead of CD. Can't remember what game Harvey's in. I think it might be the Sunday night. No, it's not the Sunday night game. Can't remember. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be going with the 2 running backs of Hendo and Cook, and then I'm going to be playing Rice and CD. Start 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 flex in full PPR. JMO, Flowers, Egbuka, Waddle, Diggs, Judkins, Genty, Harvey. Okay, so for the tight end, I'm going with... Man, I kind of need to know if Pitts is going to play, because if Pitts plays, I like him more. I'm still going to say Pitts, though, because I think he's the best play. So give me Pitts at tight end. The 2 wide receivers, I'm going with Waddle And I think I'm going to go with Diggs. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Waddle and Diggs, and then I guess the flex I'm going to go with J-Mo. So it's going to be J-Mo, Waddle, Diggs, and oh wait, I just skipped all the way over the running backs. So give me Waddle and Diggs, and then the running back I'm going to go with, because the running backs are better for the flex. I'm going Harvey. So Waddle, Diggs, Harvey, and Pitts. Start one running back this week, or quarterback this week. May, Prescott, Stafford. It's Stafford for me. Stafford's the play. Jelly says half PPR tight end, Strange versus the New York Jets, Waller at Pittsburgh, or likely at Cincinnati. I'm going to go Strange versus the Jets. John says, I have a bye this week, but next week, would you start Juwan Jennings or Diggs over Justin Jefferson? Oh, man. I don't think so. I think I would still go with Justin Jefferson. Against the Giants. I'm going with JJ. I'm still playing him next week. How would you currently rank the top 3 upcoming rookie wide receivers with Tate, Lemon, and Tyson? I'm a USC fan, but I'm falling in love with Tyson. I'd also be tough to pass on any OSU wide receiver. Currently hold the 103. The way that I'd rank them right now today is Tyson number 1. He's my wide receiver 1. Tate would be number 2, and Lemon would be number 3. So I think all of these guys are very good wide receivers. Quite frankly, all of them could be in the same tier together. But if I had to pick one of them right now, the guy that I like the most is Jordan Tyson, and then I would probably go Carnell Tate after him. So none of these guys are bad, though. I think all of these guys are going to be probably top 5 rookie draft picks when it's all said and done. Goddard or Gadsden rest of season? I think I'd rather go with Goddard. Would you play Jonathan Taylor or put Woody or Jalen Warren in instead? I'm still playing Jonathan Taylor. This is a start your studs type of situation for me. I'm going to play the guy who got me there, even if it's not going great right now. I'm not getting cute in the playoffs. I'm just going to play Jonathan Taylor and live with the results. Who should I start? Burrow. And then he says Dak, Lamar, Superflex, pick 2. I'm going Burrow and Lamar. MK says, good luck, everybody. Got kicked out of the playoffs because of Daniel Jones and CD's injuries. That's the worst way, man. That's the worst way to get kicked out. Good luck, to everybody as well. But hopefully good luck to you too next year as we get into, some of the content. Burrow or Drake this week. I'm going Burrow. Burrow is a top 3 quarterback in my rankings, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes, he is top 3 in my rankings right now. So give me Burrow. Would you start Flournoy if CD doesn't play over Alec Pierce? I think I would. Yes, I think I would. Should we be nervous about Mahomes? My role with Burrow moving forward. I like Burrow more than Mahomes this week for sure. So I would definitely be playing Burrow this week. How am I feeling about Mahomes, I guess, in general? Not super worried. He is my quarterback 11 this week, though. So just a low-end quarterback 1. He has a tough matchup this week against the Chargers and a tough matchup in the championship against the Denver Broncos. Do I have to play Igbukah Thursday night in case CD doesn't play, or do I risk it and end up with Jaden Higgins or Jaden Reed? Possibly Emeka better with Evans in the mix. Wow. What a situation to be in here. I think if I had to lean today, whether or not CD is playing, I'm going to assume he's not. So I think I would play, if I had to today, I would play Igbukah on Thursday night to avoid having to play Jaden Higgins or Jaden Reed, because Igbukah is probably, I'm looking at it right now, Igbukah is probably a good 15 spots higher in my rankings than those guys. So I'd rather have a fighting chance with Igbokwe than be playing somebody that I'm not super confident in later in the week. Does Breeze go to Minnesota? Maybe. I would rather have Jeremiah Love. I know that comes with a very expensive draft cost, but we have the draft pick to do it. I would rather Jeremiah Love. Go with Purdy or Goff for the playoffs. This is a good question because I have both of these guys pretty close. Purdy is currently my quarterback 8 on the week. Goff is my quarterback 10. I do think that the defense is better for the Rams. So I think Brock Purdy could play a little bit of bully in this game and probably beat up on the Tennessee Titans defense, who's been pretty weak this year. I think I'm going to go with Purdy, but they're both very close in my rankings. What do you think would be a good haul for the 101 right before the rookie draft? What tier of players would you need in a rebuild to move off of the 101? I mean, right before the rookie draft, that's probably the all-time, value. I'm probably at that point expecting a top 20 player, top 15-ish type of player. So, right now, my 101 should be able to buy. It should probably be able to buy you a London, a Genty, an Igbokwe, a Rice plus. Like, that's probably where you're at. What else we got here? Made the buy in 2 leagues. Thanks for your advice. Trying to decide between Broncos D and Steelers D this week. Broncos face Green Bay, and they look so good. I think for me, first of all, thank you for the compliment. Appreciate you for tuning into the content this year. I do think I would probably still lean. I think I'd still lean the Broncos defense here. I have them higher than Pittsburgh, so I'm gonna go with the Broncos here. Diggs, Troy Franklin, Igbokwe, pick 2 for the flex. It's Diggs and Igbokwe for me. Eagles defense against the Raiders or Bears against Cleveland. I currently have the Eagles as a higher ranked defense, so give me the Eagles. Do I put Sharps, Stevenson, Monangai in my running back start? And who do I start in my flex? Sharp, Stevenson, Monangai, Pearsall, or Marvin Harrison Jr., Garrett Wilson, if they both. Questions are for the same lineup. So for the running back, I think I'd rather go with Stevenson than the other two. For the flex, I'm probably going to play either Marvin or Garrett. I would lean Garrett over Marvin, I think. And if neither of those guys play, I'm still probably going with Pearsall. So I think I'm probably going with one of the wide receivers. I rank them Garrett, Marvin, Pearsall, and then Stevenson's going to be in the flex or in the running back spot for me. Johnny says 0% state income tax in Texas. Smart move. That's definitely a bonus for us. Definitely a bonus. Start which one? Baker, Herbert, Lawrence. I currently have Baker as my quarterback 14 this week. Herbert is my quarterback 22. And Lawrence is my quarterback 12. So Lawrence is the highest in my rankings. Give me Trevor Lawrence. Forgot Reed. It's still Igbokwe and Diggs for me, though. Where do you think Brees and Kenneth Walker land next season, and does Javonte get re-signed? I think Javonte does get re-signed. Brees is going to be an interesting guy. I keep thinking Kansas City and the Washington Commanders are the top 2 spots there for Brees. He feels like somebody who's going to land there. Kenneth Walker, I would not be shocked to see him get re-signed by Seattle on a little bit of a more affordable deal. But if he doesn't go there, I kind of feel like he might land with the Chicago Bears. That feels like a decent spot for him too. So I think that's kind of my first initial thoughts for those guys. What's up, John? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you showing love, and everything's going good, man. A little bit busy right now, but I can't complain. Busy's good. In one of the leagues I am in, I finished 4-10. It's a 2-keeper, and I plan on not keeping anyone that was until both Neighbors and Harrison was dropped. So next season I will now have 2 keepers. Makes sense. Makes sense. Rolando says play Michael Wilson or Devonta Smith this week. Then defense, you go Texans, Eagles, or Jags. So for the defense, I am going to go with the Texans defense. For the wide receiver, I don't think I can sit Michael Wilson right now based off of the production he's been giving us. I think we got to play Michael Wilson despite it being a tough matchup. So I know kind of counterintuitive playing the Texans defense and then also playing Michael Wilson, but I'm doing it. I have an opening on my bench with Ertz out. Who should I get with my waiver pick? Flournoy or Jalen Wright? If you need somebody to plug in and play in the lineup, it's Flournoy. If you want somebody to be a high upside swing for the playoffs in case of an Achane injury, it's definitely Jalen Wright. So I think it depends on your team. If you're looking for production to potentially plug into your lineup right now, it's Flournoy. Gannon is gone in AZ, right? And so, and if so, how does the hire in AZ affect Mar's value? Well, I think honestly, I'm not super confident Gannon's going to be fired. If he is fired, though, I do think it does help Marvin because that would mean that Drew Petzing is gone. And so I would assume that there's a coach and an offensive coordinator that come in and have a plan for a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr., especially with the narrative of him being underutilized. They probably want to come in and get him utilized. Other than that, I think a change is going to help Marv. Hopefully it happens. What is this JMO hate about? I don't think there's really any JMO hate. I think it's more so just a big play type of guy. But if you think it's hate, plug him into your damn lineup. That means you must feel some type of way about him being in your lineup this week. What would you do, or would you do Rome and a 26 late first for Rice and a 26 third? This is tough, but I think the Rome in the first side has more value. The right side helps you win today. So if you're not contending right now, I'm going the Rome side. If you are contending, give me the right side. Does ETN get re-signed? I think he could too. He's also another player that feels interesting. Like I kind of said this earlier, this is a really good free agent running back class, and this is a mediocre running back draft class for the rookies. So I think for me, we're going to see more veterans get some extra tick. Maybe some guys get some contracts we didn't expect. Maybe some guys get re-signed we didn't expect. So that's why I say like Kenneth Walker probably goes back to Seattle. You probably get a guy like ETN. It would make sense for him to get re-signed too if they like him. So it's in the range of outcomes. Henderson, Adams, Wilson for the flex. Man. Give me Adams and give me Wilson. I'm playing both of them. Who would you stream, or who do you like rest of the season? I have Detroit and Indianapolis. My other options are Dallas, Cincinnati, Arizona, New York Jets, the Chargers, Carolina, Las Vegas, the Giants. I like Detroit. Obviously, right now, they're going to get a pretty tough matchup against that Rams defense. But I think the rest of the way, they should have some pretty good defenses or some pretty good matchups. You get Pittsburgh and you get Minnesota, so that should be pretty solid for them. Probably would want to keep them. And I guess rest of season, I guess they would be the rest of season play. I would like to play them the next 2 weeks, but this week, who would I rather stream? I think the answer for me would probably be Dallas. You target JJ McCarthy and see if he has some turnovers this week. That might be what I try and do. They're the highest in my rankings of the guys you have on the list. I keep looking back and forth trying to make sure that I'm seeing them all because there's like 10 defenses here. But I think Dallas would be the one that I would play this week, and then Detroit would be the rest of the way for me. So those would be the two that I would hold on to. You can drop Indy. Is Trey Benson coming back, or is he done for the year? I'm losing faith. I'm losing faith. He's got to be activated this week. If he's not, he's not coming back at all this year. So he has to be activated this week. But I'm losing faith. I don't know if he's going to end up getting activated. I'm considering dropping him where I have him this week and just moving on and grabbing somebody who can actually help me this week. Theo or Loveland? I currently have Theo one spot higher than Loveland in my rankings this week. So give me Theo. CD, Diggs, Reed, Igbuka, Franklin. You got to pick 3. So assuming healthy, it's CD, Diggs, and Igbuka. If CD is not healthy, I think I'm going to play... Franklin over Reed this week. Week 16 start. So we're starting one with Dak, Stroud, Mariota, and Darnold. Okay. I think you still got to roll with Dak. All of their matchups are pretty mediocre. So I'm still rolling with Dak in that situation next week. If CD is healthy, I will need to either drop Brian Robinson or Godwin. I feel Robinson is the obvious move. I have Igbuka try to trade a deadline, but no luck. Yeah, I mean, he's the obvious move because I don't think he can immediately be plugged into your lineup unless there's an injury. So, yeah, it feels like the obvious one. What running backs do I start? Pick 2 for the running back positions and 1 for the flex. It's Genty, Rico, Judkins, Neal, Kamara, Henderson, Worthy, Addison, or Reed. So I'm going to go with Genty, Henderson, and Judkins. Those are going to be the 3 that I played. 2 running backs and 1 flex. Those are going to be the 3. May or Dak? I got May higher this week, so give me May. Has T-Law helped his fantasy value in the second half of the season? He's had a decent season so far fantasy-wise. Yeah, he's kind of been a guy that I feel like when you look at the end-of-season numbers, you're going to be a little bit shocked he finished there. It's like, I don't remember you playing that well. How did you finish there? We got to remember there's a lot of quarterback injuries, though. Guys like Burrow, guys like Daniels, guys like Lamar, guys like, the list goes on and on and on of all the quarterbacks that have missed time this year. So I think that needs to be taken with a grain of salt because people who are going to look at the end of season like, yeah, T-Law finished as a top 14 quarterback. Right, in total points, but the fantasy points per game, maybe not so much. Has he helped his value? I think so. But am I like wowed by Trevor Lawrence yet? No. Who for my wide receiver 3 and flex spot? Got Devontae Adams at wide receiver 1, Jacoby Myers at wide receiver 2. My running back 1 and 2 are Jonathan Taylor and Josh Jacobs. The bench has Travion Henderson. So the wide receiver 3 is... Oh, it got cut off. Hold on. Singletary, Debo, Jordan Addison, Booty, Evans, Kittle, Juwan. Okay, so the wide receiver 3 right now is Evans if he plays. If it's not Evans, it's going to be Debo Samuel. So you'll play Debo. Well, you'll play Evans. If not, it's going to be Debo. For the flex spot, I like Henderson in the flex spot more than anybody. So give me Henderson there and probably roll with that. Playoff question. Who for my quarterback 1? I got Brissett. Waivers have Bryce, Stroud, Trevor, or Caleb. So the highest in my rankings is actually Trevor this week. I got Trevor as my quarterback 12. Nobody else that you listed is in the top 12 quarterbacks other than T-Law. So give me T-Law here this week. Godwin or Reed? I like Godwin more than Reed this week. Previous question, if I play Igbuka on Thursday, if CD plays, I can still throw him into the flex. I'd lose Jalen Warren or Woody. Do you prefer Woody or Warren? No, I would prefer CD over those guys if he plays. Seattle or Texans this week, likely or Kincaid. I think Seattle's my number one defense on the week. They are my number one defense on the week. So I have Seattle number one. Give me them. For likely versus Kincaid, I do have Kincaid currently sitting as my tight end 11. Likely's my tight end 15. So give me Kincaid there. So Seattle and Kincaid. Wandell or Sutton. I like Wandell more this week. Appreciate all your help. Really helped me this year. Took first in the league. Hell yeah. Love to see it, man. Thank you so much, man. A lot of people about this time of the year, and I'm not saying anybody's done this, but it's happened in the past. But this time of the year, you know, when you're making start-sit decisions, everything is just even more high stakes. So people come in here, they ask you your advice, you give them your opinion. And then if it's wrong, you know, some people will come back and tell you how stupid you are, or how you lost them their league, or blah, 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 blah. So it's nice every once in a while, you know, you have the people that are like, hey, thank you. I appreciate the help. I appreciate, you know, X, Y, Z. So it is nice to have that as the contrast, because I know some of those people are going to be coming around the corner here in the next couple weeks as I tell them on Sunday to start somebody and they get hurt, as if I could have projected that. Or maybe I just make the wrong decision. You know, sometimes that's what happens here. So it is what it is. What do we got with this one? Would you try to trade the 104? I think I just pulled that one up, actually. Would you try to trade the 104 for Marvin Harrison or draft one of the 3 wide receivers? I think at this point I would rather hold the 104 and see what I can do with that in the trade market. I wouldn't be trying to buy Marvin at this point. Tyrod did not save the season. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. Like I said, my brother had Tyrod and Daniel Jones, so not a great day for him. Full PPR, I need a flex. Jalen Warren, Ladd, Brian Thomas, Michael Wilson, or Corum. I'm going with Michael Wilson, man. You got to play Michael Wilson. He's almost like an auto start for me this week still, even despite the bad matchup. Insidious says, crazy how JJM balls the fuck out, and now nobody in chat want to talk about him. The haters are there when he's playing bad, and then he's going to, you know, go play a good game, and people forget about it, and they wait for him to play a bad game, which is going to happen, and then they're going to talk about it again. It is what it is. At this point, you know, you can't beat him either way. You know, you can't make anybody happy. So I'm minding my business and watching this guy play quarterback, and hopefully he keeps developing and becomes the franchise guy. So I can't say too much about it. How you feeling now that Seattle's defense versus Indian week? They're my number one on the week. Bucks or Bears? I have the Bears higher than the Bucks defense this week. He says Burden or Godwin. I think I would rather go with Burden because I still expect Rome to miss this week. Pick 3, Pittman, Rico, Jalen Warren, Brian Thomas, and Watson. I'm going to go with Jalen Warren. I'm going to go with... Jalen Warren's the easy one. I think I'm going to go with Christian Watson for the second one. And it's between Rico and Pittman. I think I'll take Rico. Give me Rico, Watson, and Warren. Scared to play Watson because of PS2. I don't know if Watson's the type of guy to get shadowed by PS2. We'll see. I feel like they're going to mix. I feel like PS2 is going to play all over the field. He might get a mix of all the guys. He might get some Dobbs. He might get some Reed. He might get some, Watson. It could be a mix. Breeze to the Chiefs would be so deadly. I agree, man. I think it's one of the best fits. Do you think Hurts bouncing back? Because I don't want to bench him. I mean, Hurts, I'm still playing him. You just feel less confident today, but you're still playing him. Henry or Ferguson? I'm going with Ferguson. I meant if CD doesn't play, would you prefer Warren or Woody? Okay, so if CD doesn't play, yes, I would prefer Warren over Woody. I have Brees, Javonte, and ETN. Should I go get K9 for the contract year running back Infinity Gauntlet? Maybe just for the memes, man. Might be worth it just to go play Russian roulette all summer. That might be fun. Especially during the free agent cycle when it's so boring for fantasy. You can just be sitting there and watch the logos change for your whole roster. Hawkinson, Gadsden, full PBR, half point tight end premium. I'm going with neither of them are very high in the ranks, I'll be honest. Gadsden is my tight end 23. Hawkinson's my tight end 27. So I guess I'm going Gadsden, but I don't want either of these guys in the lineup this week. If Daniels plays, is it worth considering the matchup? Yeah. I don't know if he's going to play, though. I don't know. I probably shouldn't. Brissett or Dart? I currently have Dart higher than Brissett this week. Dart is my quarterback 9. Brissett is my quarterback 21. And that's because of the matchup against Houston. Houston is tough this year, man. Jivo says, got a goose egg from Mark, 3 points from JJ, Patty, and Rice did bad, so I'm losing as the number 1 seed, 129 to 107, but good thing it's a 2-week final. Wish me luck. It's crazy that, crazy that people are in the finals already, 2 weeks, but yeah, it's a good thing that it's a 2-week because that's a bad week, but hopefully it'll vary itself out here. One time I need Drake London to carry me to, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Having Hampton, Henderson, and Harvey feels like I should shop Harvey or Henderson this offseason. I could pair with Rico type asset. I have no 26 first. Target ideas for running back or just a better player. I don't feel like you have to move any of these guys. I think Hampton, Henderson, and Harvey feels like it sets you up for the next 2 to 3 years here in this window where you're fine. So if you were to move one of them, the one that I would probably move would be Harvey. And I don't know if I would try and see if you can get a 26 first, but it feels like you're just re-rolling at that point. I'm more than comfortable having the 3 running backs and just calling it a day. McCarthy had more points than Hurts, Lamar, and Mahomes combined, probably. Yeah, that probably isn't too hard. It's a crazy stat to say. It's probably not too hard when you look at him, but McCarthy played well, man. He played well last week. You look at let's pull it up. I don't want to spend too much time on McCarthy because I feel like we've over talked about McCarthy a lot this year sometimes, but hey, it's my fucking channel. I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want. So I look at let's look individual week 14. Yeah, how's quarterback 9 on the week sound? More than Dak, more than Love, more than T-Law, more than Jared Goff, more than Bo Nix, more than Caleb Williams, more than Justin Herbert. Like, this is what has happened, man. You have it where it's up and down, and then you have the good weeks like this. This is why you like him in fantasy. If we can get this consistently, this is, I think, the ceiling where you get these top 10 weeks out of J.J. McCarthy because of the offense. So, they beat up on a bad Commanders team, injured Commanders team. I won't say a bad team. They're an injured team, and I don't know. People don't, it is what it is. That's all I'll say. My condolences for your brother's lineup. Yeah, it wasn't fun. Appreciate you too. Stay blessed, man. Would you buy K9 for an early second? I'm okay rolling the dice on free agency for an early second. That's fine. Mendoza to the Jets, Simpson to the Rams, and Dante Moore to the Raiders. How about that? If they play well, I'm kind of worried that we're gonna get 1 or 2 of these guys, Moore and Simpson, maybe, who go back to school. If they do, this class gets real ugly at the quarterback position. I do think I'm probably, if this was the way that it landed, assuming all of these are first round draft capital, I think I would take Simpson as QB1, Mendoza as QB2, and probably Moore as QB3, assuming they all got first round type draft capital in the top 10. So yeah, I just trust Sean McVay with a Ty Simpson type way more than I would trust Moore on the Raiders or Mendoza on the Jets, even if I think Mendoza is a little bit more of a pro-ready type of quarterback right now. Appreciate you, Hash. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Opinion question. Rebuilding team with a modest amount of draft capital. Do I risk trading picks to get my guys and sit on the picks to take more bites of to get my guys, or sit on the picks and take more bites of the apple? I think right now, my opinion would be to hold the picks right now, sit on them, let them gain value for 2 to 3 months right now, because the best time for you to even consider making those types of moves is going to be February, March, April. Those 3 months are going to be the best time to move picks if you want to move them. So, yeah, definitely sit on them for now. I'd say my suggestion would be to take more bites at the apple, but it just depends, I think, on where those picks land and how the NFL draft goes and some of the landing spots and things like that. It's hard to project that at the moment. Thoughts on Sanders' last game? I thought he played well, man. He played really well. Giving me a little bit more confidence. We'll see what happens with the rest of the season. The schedule does get a little bit tough for the Browns. So if Sanders can keep playing well, there's no reason why he shouldn't go into next year as QB1 for the Browns. Fanning over Juwan Johnson this week? Yes, I would. 2-week rounds makes more sense than a 2-week final right now in week 15. Start Harvey, Emeka, or Henderson. I like Henderson the most. Thanks for all your advice this year, regardless if I took it or not. As I've said all year, JJM still stinks, in my opinion, just because no one has complained about him yet today. You had to throw it in there, Johnny Detroit. I appreciate you, though, for the thank you. And thank you for always being here and supporting Johnny. Really, truly means a lot. So thank you again. And yes, you're right. Sometimes if you ask for the advice, you don't always have to take it. I'm an open book. You can ask me whatever, and I'm not offended if you say, hey, thanks for the input. I'm still not doing it, respect for that. Frosty says, rank these guys for Dynasty. Hampton, Harvey, Scatabo, Hendo. It's Hampton easy in the top tier by himself. Then it's probably Hendo, Scat, and then Harvey for me. But Hampto, too many O's here. Scatabo, Hendo. I'm going Hampton, tier of his own at the top. Full PPR. Start 1 wide receiver, 1 flex out of Breece Hall, Olave, J-Mo, Pittman, Debo, and Harrison Jr. The 1 wide receiver for me of this group, it's between Olave and J-Mo. I think I'm going to go with... I'm going with Olave. Give me Olave, and then the flex, it's between Breece and J-Mo. I'm going to go J-Mo. So give me J-Mo and give me Olave. Pick one, QJ, BTJ, or Pearsall. I'm going to go with... Man, this one's a tougher one too. I'm going with... So BTJ is wide receiver 30. Pearsall is wide receiver 48 right now. QJ is wide receiver 39. So give me Brian Thomas. I'm playing Brian Thomas. Is it a good idea to drop Rico Dowdle to pick up Christian Watson in my 6-man league? Rico's my RB6, but with the small teams, I'm decently stacked to wide receiver 2. I feel like in a 6-man league, you can stream wide receiver easier than running back, so I would probably still have Rico. But it does sound like it's going to be a pretty non-important pickup drop scenario for you anyways with how stacked your team is. So I'm still going to roll with Rico here, but it's not, I mean, if you prefer the wide receiver, it's not a big issue there. So dart over Brissett because of the Texans D, but you still feel Michael Wilson can produce in that matchup. Just a bit concerned after watching Houston completely shut down Rice. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I think I still believe, I do still believe that Michael Wilson can produce despite the matchup. I just worry about Brissett overall because his points are going to be more so touchdown dependent in this game. I think of a PPR league where Michael Wilson, you can have a bad game but catch 5, 6, 7 passes, and then all of a sudden it doesn't matter because your team scored 10 points, 14 points, but you still had 6 catches, 7 catches, and it's still a better day. So I still feel okay about Michael Wilson. Like I said with him earlier, he's like a top 15, top 17 type of wide receiver in my rankings. It is a tougher matchup for him, but Dart, with the rushing upside and the matchup that he gets this week, I'm more excited about playing him for sure. Flournoy worth a pickup. I think he's definitely worth a pickup if you need somebody to stream this week. See you later, Insidious. We'll see you on Friday, man. Appreciate you. Would you start AJ Brown or Nico Collins and Josh Jacobs or Bucky Irving? I would start Nico over AJ and Bucky versus Josh. I would probably go Bucky over Josh. So yeah, Nico and Bucky. How did you meet Warren from the Dynasty Trade Show? War? Yeah. I met War in... I mean, it was a friend of a friend type of situation. We have a home redraft league that I've been in for years and years and years since high school, but we needed a guy one year. Somebody had quit. Somebody didn't want to play anymore, and so we needed a guy, and he said, hey, I know this guy War. He's down to play some fantasy with us. So he got invited, friend of a friend, into the league, and then I just kind of became friends with him from playing with him over the years, and really cool guy. Just ended up when I started doing content, I asked that group of guys, I said, hey, does anybody want to do content with me potentially? And everybody was like, nah, or they didn't give me an answer. And he was the only one that was like, I'd be down to try it. And so he's been with me day one since day one for the Dynasty stuff, just messing around, doing some content from the early days and stuck around. So yeah, I met him through a friend of a friend. Do you think Caleb will clean up the inconsistency? I hope so, but we've seen the ceiling that he has, and I think he's done enough to prove that he's a very valuable Dynasty asset moving forward. JMO or Jettas this week? I would go JMO over Jettas, I think. Just like the matchup better for them, and obviously the quarterback play is a little bit more consistent for sure. So still would go with JMO. Currently JMO about 3 spots higher than Jefferson in my rankings. I looked on my Spotify account on my lunch earlier today, and I saw you on a podcast with Dynasty Nerds, and I was like, what the heck? When this podcast get on my Spotify? And then I looked, and it was like, and I was like, we ran past an hour fast with no breaks. Yeah, we did run past. we did get through it. But you said I looked on my Spotify account lunch earlier today, and I saw you on a podcast with Dynasty Nerds, and I was like, when the heck did this podcast get on my Spotify? And then I looked. But yeah, man, sorry, I just like zoned out there in the middle of the question. But yeah, I've been doing stuff with Dynasty Nerds for a while. It's definitely been fun. Obviously we got a lot under our sleeves here that we're going to start talking about here in January, but we got a lot of stuff coming up in the next year too. So definitely one of the perks of 2026 loading up there. But yeah, it's good to see that you're listening over there too, man. Thanks for all the advice and the time. Always appreciate it. Best of luck to everybody this week. Best of luck to you too, man. Thank you. Henderson versus Villa. Thoughts on the matchup? That's Henderson versus what is it? Buffalo, right? Henderson versus Villa. I'm confused on what Villa means. It's not Buffalo, right? You're going to have to clarify this one for me real quick. Okay, all right. The second one came through. You said, and I was like, is that Andrew? I'll be damned. Yeah, it's me, man. It's me over there. Twice a week on the channel right now. So you're going to have to clarify this one for me, and then I'm going to get to the bottom, and then we'll wrap it up because we are well over the hour at this point. Not an issue, but super chat from Daniel who says, starting Mike Evans or Brian Thomas this week for the playoffs. Right now, I'm going to be playing Brian Thomas Jr. If Mike Evans gets into the lineup, I think I'd play him over BTJ, but you have to go BTJ right now unless we get like 2 full practices from Mike Evans. Okay, Buffalo. What are my thoughts on the matchup? It's a great matchup for him. Buffalo's ranked 29th right now, so bottom 3 should be a good spot for Henderson. We just need him to get a little bit more of the workload than he got last week, but I still think he's a high-end RB2 this week in fantasy. The most played song on Spotify this year. I don't have Spotify. I have Apple, but my Apple Replay number 1 song this year was, let me confirm it again, Give Me a Hug by Drake and CN Tower. They were tied with the same amount of plays. My top album of the year was Some Sexy Songs for You by Party Next Door and Drake. Not the type of album you think it is based off of the name if you've never heard it. But yeah, Sexy Songs for You by Drake was my number 1 album. Swag by Justin Bieber was my number 2 album. And Wild by Russ was my number 3 album. I've been bumping those a lot. Who is taking the Natty in your opinion, and thoughts on Notre Dame missing the playoffs? I kind of think it's bullshit that Notre Dame missed the playoffs. I think I would much rather watch them in the playoffs than Miami. But I'll be damned. Jeremiah Love, go get ready for the NFL because you're going to be a dog once you get there. Who do I think going to take the Natty? I think OSU. I think OSU wins, man. I think we'll get an Indiana OSU rematch, and I think OSU wins it this time. Pick 3, Kyron, Debo, Omarion, Devontae, 2 tough matchups and 2 underperformers. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the 3. I guess the easier one is who am I sitting, and the sit for me is going to be Debo. Debo will be my sit. And so that's it, folks. We are all caught up. Appreciate everybody. We went about an hour and 10 tonight. It's gone long when the music stops because that music is scheduled for like an hour and 5 minutes. So, it goes long when the music stops. Appreciate everybody who's been here. Like I said, more stuff coming tomorrow. We're going to do our first episode of Ring Chasers where we focus on some matchups to target, some guys you can stream this week, some other things like that. So keep an eye out for that. Q&A on Friday, Q&A on Sunday, Dynasty Trade Show on Saturday, all that good stuff. And Frank says, do you think Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame? Barry Bonds, I think he probably should as well. Barry Bonds is one of the best baseball players I've ever watched with my own 2 eyes. I had a Barry Bonds signed baseball bat when I was a kid, and I didn't even play baseball like that. So he's definitely an icon and probably should be in the Hall of Fame. But look, that's it, folks. I have nothing else for you guys today. I will see you on the next episode. Until then, peace out.